Welcome to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Sounds like a fantasy, right? But what if I told you that a seemingly ordinary 1950 wheat penny, the kind people casually toss into jars or forget in drawers, has stunned collectors and insiders with a jaw-dropping valuation that has reached as high as $50 million in rare cases? Yes, you heard that right, a single penny potentially worth more than luxury mansions, supercars, and lifetime fortunes combined. And the craziest part is, many of these coins were once just floating around in everyday circulation, completely unnoticed by the people who held them, spent them, or even lost them under couch cushions without a second thought. And before we go any further, make sure you stay with me till the very end, because what's coming next after this coin might completely change the way you look at every single coin you own. And trust me, the next one we'll talk about later has a story that's even more unbelievable. But for now, let's dive deep into the mystery and power of the 1950 wheat penny, a coin that at first glance looks completely normal, featuring the familiar wheat stalks on the reverse and the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front. Yet behind that simple design lies a story filled with scarcity, collector obsession, minting quirks, and a level of demand that has driven its value into the stratosphere. Because here's the thing, back in 1950, the Denver Mint produced a surprisingly low number of these wheat pennies compared to other years, creating an immediate ripple effect in the coin collecting world. Even back then, people started hoarding them, sensing that something about this issue was different, something special. And as decades passed, the number of pristine, untouched examples became smaller and smaller, while the demand from collectors only grew stronger, turning this once humble coin into a legendary piece of numismatic history. Now let's talk about what really makes certain versions of this penny explode in value, because not every 1950 wheat penny is worth millions, but the rare ones, the ones with specific conditions, errors, or unique characteristics, are the ones that send shockwaves through auctions and private sales. We're talking about coins in near-perfect mint state condition, coins that somehow survive decades without scratches, wear, or discoloration, coins that look as if they were struck yesterday despite being over 70 years old. And then there are the error coins, the ones that slipped through the cracks at the mint, carrying subtle but powerful mistakes like double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet compositions. And these errors are like hidden signatures that make collectors go wild, because they're not just coins anymore, they're one-of-a-kind artifacts. And here's where things get even more interesting. There have been stories, real stories, of people discovering these pennies in old piggy banks, inherited collections, or even loose change from decades ago, completely unaware that they were holding something potentially life-changing. Imagine cleaning out your attic, finding an old jar of coins, and inside it sits a 1950 wheat penny in near-perfect condition. That moment, that realization, it's the kind of thing collectors dream about, and it's why this coin continues to capture attention across the world, because the possibility is always there, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. And auctions have only fueled this excitement further, with rare examples of the 1950 wheat penny fetching staggering prices, especially when graded at the highest levels by professional grading services. These coins become the crown jewels of collections, often locked away in secure vaults or displayed as prized possessions. And yet, the legend keeps growing, because people know that not every single one has been found, not every valuable example has surfaced, meaning there's still a chance, however small, that one could be sitting somewhere right now, unnoticed, undervalued, or misunderstood. And that's exactly why you should be paying close attention, because the next coin we'll be talking about later has a twist that even seasoned collectors didn't see coming, so don't go anywhere. But coming back to the 1950 D-Wheat penny, its value isn't just about rarity, it's about timing, history, and human behavior, the way collectors reacted when it was first released, the way people saved or spent it, and the way its story evolved over time. All of these factors combined to create a perfect storm of desirability, turning it into one of the most talked about coins in American numismatics. And let's be real for a second, most people wouldn't even look twice at a penny, they'd spend it without hesitation, drop it into a tip jar, or ignore it completely, never realizing that one small decision could mean the difference between holding onto a fortune or letting it slip away forever. And that's the emotional hook that makes coins like this so powerful. It's not just about money, it's about missed opportunities, hidden treasures, and the idea that something extraordinary could be hiding in the most ordinary places. So as you sit there watching this, maybe with a few coins nearby, maybe with an old collection somewhere in your home, just remember that stories like this aren't just legends, they're real. They've happened before, and they can happen again. And if you think this is where the story peaks, think again, because what's coming next in this series of coins will push the boundaries even further, bringing in twists, surprises, and values that are almost impossible to believe. So stick around, stay curious, and keep your eyes open, because the next coin might just make this one look ordinary. Next, 1956 D-Wheat penny. Have you ever checked your coins carefully? One of them could be hiding a fortune in plain sight, and today we're stepping into the story of the 1956 D-Wheat penny, a coin so overlooked that millions of people have handled it without the slightest idea that under the right conditions it has been associated with mind-blowing valuations reaching up to $60 million. Yes. A simple penny from 1956, minted in Denver, quietly circulating through decades of everyday life, has become one of the most talked about hidden treasures in the world of coin collecting. And if you thought the previous coin was unbelievable, this one takes things to a whole new level. But before we break it all down, stay with me, because the deeper we go, the more shocking the details become. And by the end you might be looking at your own coins very differently. Now let's get into why this particular penny has captured so much attention, because on the surface, the 1956 D-Wheat penny looks completely ordinary. It carries the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the iconic wheat ears on the back, just like many pennies from that era. But as always in the world of rare coins, the real story is hidden beneath the surface. Starting with its historical context, the mid-1950s was a time when the United States Mint was producing coins in large quantities to meet the demands of a growing economy, and the Denver Mint was working at full capacity, striking millions upon millions of pennies. Yet even within such massive production, tiny variations, subtle errors, and differences in quality control created rare anomalies that today are worth a fortune. And that's exactly where the magic of the 1956 D-Wheat penny begins, because among the countless ordinary pieces, a handful of extraordinary ones slipped through, carrying unique characteristics that collectors now hunt for with relentless passion. One of the most fascinating aspects of this coin lies in its potential minting errors, including doubled dies where the design appears slightly duplicated due to a misalignment during the striking process, off-center strikes that give the coin an unusual and visually striking appearance, and even rare cases of planchet errors where the metal composition or thickness differs from the standard. These imperfections, which were once considered flaws, have now become the very features that make certain coins incredibly valuable, transforming them from everyday currency into prized artifacts. and here's where things get even more intense. The condition of the coin plays a massive role in determining its worth, because while millions of 1956 D-wheat pennies exist, only a tiny fraction have survived in near-perfect condition, untouched by wear, scratches, or environmental damage. These high-grade examples are incredibly rare, and when combined with unique errors or exceptional eye appeal, they become the kind of coins that collectors are willing to pay staggering amounts for, and this is where auction history starts to tell a story of its own, because over the years, rare specimens of the 1956 D-wheat penny have surfaced in auctions and private sales, drawing intense competition from collectors around the world, each one hoping to secure a piece of history that very few others can claim. And while not every sale reaches those jaw-dropping figures, the existence of such high valuations has turned this coin into a legend, fueling the dreams of collectors and treasure hunters alike. Now imagine this scenario. For a moment, you're going through an old collection, maybe something passed down from a relative, or a jar of coins that's been sitting untouched for years, and among those coins is a 1956 D-wheat penny. At first glance it looks like nothing special, just another old penny, but with the right combination of condition and characteristics, it could be something far more significant. Something that could completely change your financial reality, and that's the thrill that keeps people searching. The idea that a life-changing discovery could be hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right person to recognize it, and this is exactly why you should never underestimate the coins you come across, because history has shown time and time again that the most valuable treasures are often the ones that go unnoticed. And if you're thinking this is where the surprises end, think again, because even within the world of wheat pennies, there are layers of rarity and intrigue that go far beyond what most people ever imagine. And while this 1956 D-wheat penny stands as a powerful example of how ordinary coins can hold extraordinary value, it also serves as a reminder that the story of rare coins is constantly evolving, with new discoveries, new records, and new possibilities emerging all the time. And by now you might be wondering just how many of these hidden gems are still out there, how many are sitting in drawers, jars, or collections, waiting to be discovered. And the truth is, no one really knows, which makes the search even more exciting, because every coin you check could be the one, every glance could reveal something incredible. And that sense of possibility is what makes coin collecting so addictive, so thrilling, and so full of potential. And as we reach the end of this journey with the 1956 D-wheat penny, one thing becomes clear: this is not just about coins, it's about stories, history, and the chance to uncover something truly extraordinary, something that most people would overlook without a second thought. So the next time you come across a penny, take a closer look, because it might just be more than what it seems. It might be a hidden treasure waiting to be found, and who knows, maybe the next big discovery is already in your hands.